Evening, everybody. I hope you can hear me. I have another speaker tonight that is myself and also Coach Arif, our CPO expert. That's right. So tonight we have two of us and we want to share with you some of the opportunity many of you may not know is on FCPO. It is very, very profitable and definitely a lot of opportunity right now. So those of you who is coming and get ready for a real adventure in here while I'll share a few more of our timeline in some of those timeline that they will also benefit, which I'm talking about the Facebook timeline. So thank you for coming tonight. And if you have any question with regards to the palm crude oil market or plantation market for tonight, definitely tonight is the great market to know of. And that's something that we want to really share more of it tonight. So let's get on to with me. And so let's get on. So good evening, everybody. Good evening. This is Martin here from live Facebook in here from Trade VSA and together with Coach Arif with me in here. So you can see just two of us near Sifu here will be talking and sharing with you some of the great opportunity that you may see in capitalizing the trending market and CPO. That's right. Now, many of you may be new, but those of you who are our regular members from our VSA 360 member, definitely you already attended our futures class. And it's something we are going forward to like to share with you in this coming manner in here, where we felt that CPO is definitely one way to make quick and good money within a very short time. But you need that little bit of skill. And that's why we are here tonight to share with you some of the nuances and particularly that you may or may not aware, but at least this is a chance for you to know about this thing here. So let's get together and get comfortable in here as many of our members will be coming in soon in here. So definitely this is one way. If you have any question, do pencil those in there. We are happy to answer them in here. So let's get on to our live Facebook tonight on the FCPO market. So don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not. This is where you're able to get hold of all our recorded talks in here. So you'll be updated in on many time, or you can watch this again in here. And for our ongoing education, as I said before, in the month of October, right now we are in the month of November. So don't forget, we have some special topic in here, especially tonight, we'll be capitalizing on the trending market in FCPO. Then we have next week, the 16th, no, the next week is the 6th, sorry, next week is the 9th. Then in the 8th, we have the great 2022 US election, which will impact our KLSE definitely for sure. Then moving on to the post-general election 15 result in here, followed by the market rally that we're likely to see in the months of November and also the 23rd for preparation for the market rally. We do think that this coming end November, where you see the market likely to bottom, and then December month, those of you who are our existing member, which I've been talking again and again, the VSA 360, the December month in here. So let's talk about it in here tonight and show you these are the events likely to happen. So as long as you follow us on live Facebook or give us a thumbs up in here, then you will know the topic that we'll be sharing in here. So tonight's sharing will be the palm crude oil uptrend outlook. Now, why is this important? It's a couple of things I just want to share with you in here that you may or may not aware of, but to know at least the impact on the CPO prices and how you can take care of this opportunity. And also, you want to look at the historical palm oil and also the forecast palm oil demand of 2022, 2023, and beyond. The correlation between FCPO, crude palm oil, and also soya bean oil in here, and how to profit, whether this is an uptrend or a downtrend in here. And also looking at some of those who are our regular stock trader might want to take advantage of the plantation stocks. Okay, plantation stocks are also making a move. This is no surprises, as those of you who has been following Zach, our senior trainer in here, been talking about the plantation sector here. But I will just talk about a couple of stocks that I like, and you may also take a look at them in here. And going forward, the fourth quarter is going to be very, very volatile in here. And that's why VSA 360 with our plugin will give you that edge that you much be needed in here. And also, I do think that our KLCI market may already peak and we are looking to buy somewhere of mid-November. A little bit of correction we will see from here onwards now and probably sell high in December. So buy beginning of mid-November, and definitely for those of you, I think buy after GE15. Okay, after GE15, I think that the market will be likely to be bottoming in here. Now it's a time to maybe take some profit in here for those in the KLCI area in here. Now, let's look at the current situation that we have on the Russian and Ukraine war. OPEC, as recent of 1st of November, did talk about the long-term oil demand view and call for more investment in here. Even President Joe Biden just yesterday or today talk about the what we call a windfall tax when they see many of those oil-producing companies like Shell, BP are making billions and billions of dollars while oil prices continue to be high. And we do know how much of the oil prices goes into inflation. That's why they're raising the long-term oil demand. No doubt there's a lot of talk about green energy, but it cannot make a shortfall of the high demand it is. Now also, you may see on the topic on top of you in here, the Ukraine war likely to spill over to other Baltic countries. Because this one, if Ukraine were to fall, Finland, Moldova, Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania, all these are in the stake right now, and that's what a lot of tension is. And all this again are causing that inflation, and inflation which actually tie back to the oil, whether it is global food oil or it is more like consumption oil for your petrol and a car. That's why we are here this evening to look at some of these opportunities. Now, the OPEC has pretty much forecast a very good, of course, they are always biased, right? Means going forward, year 2025, year 2030, the outlook they are giving out are pretty much very, very stable demand. As you can see in here, let me just bring out my laser pointer here. So you can see now it's 2023, so they are talking about the demand in terms of about 100 million barrels a day. In here, you can see pretty much as you go to 2030, it will be tapered off. There's three versions of this, 2019 version, 2020 version. It's just a snippet of the demand and supply curve here. You can see 2022 is the red one. So they're pretty much in tandem with the overall demand in here. So that's what OPEC, being one of the largest cartel oil producer, can really control these prices in here. And together with Russia, remember, right? The Saudis and the Russian are really squeezing the American because the American being one of the largest in here. So long-term demand remain to be good. And because of the high demand for the crude oil and the prevailing of the Russian-Ukraine war and conflict and possible escalation, we are likely to see high prices, and also that also trickle down to the inflation food. Because when it comes to inflation food, we all know food prices also contributed by the what we call the cooking oil. In this case, is palm oil that causes it in here too. So let's look at the global major oil producer. Okay, if you look at the global major oil producer, you will definitely see palm oil is made up about 35% of the world consumption. And then next below it is this soya oil. Now you all know where soya oil and sunflower oil, right? Soya oil not much in Ukraine, but definitely sunflower oil. That's almost 9% of the major contribution. 9, 10, about 4% of the world supplier come from Ukraine, and with the war going on, you're seeing the grains and the maize. So that is also causing in here. So they're all tight lah. That's the whole point, right? The war, again, everybody takes opportunity to raise this price in here. So you can see why palm oil being although palm oil is not directly impacted, but because of the sunflower oil, which is impacted, and that's come from Ukraine. And so overall, you have this major correlation. The world always take opportunity to be impacted by any time when you see this war in here. So volatility is good, especially when Coach Arif come in to talk about long and short, where you can long and short. And we are not talking about the overall trend, but what we are really concerned is about the market volatility, where we can go long or short. Now, let's turn our attention right now to palm oil. Now, we all know previously Malaysia was one of the largest producer of palm oil, but no longer. So you look at the statistic in 2019, Indonesia was about at 58% of the share of the global production in here. And many of Malaysian companies has already moved over to Indonesia to do a lot of the palm oil planting in here, because also labor and land, Malaysia don't have so much, especially in Sabah, Sarawak and Kalimantan, you've seen that. So you can see Malaysian shares has definitely gone down to even less than 26%, but many of those company in Indonesia are actually Malaysian company. So you can see on the left-hand side, Indonesia call it the red gold, because that's really one of the major exporter for Indonesia in here. And you can see 59%, and Malaysia will get smaller to eventually around 22% in here. So that is always been this trend in here. But no doubt, being the second world producer in palm oil, we definitely have a say, and we have this palm oil futures market other than Dalian in here. Indonesia don't have one, so we are very fortunate to establish it much longer ago. Now, let's look at why this is important. Now, the chart in front of you will definitely see the correlation between the crude oil, palm crude oil, which is the FCPO, right, and also soya oil. Early on, I showed you the soya oil. No doubt it's not tied to Ukraine indirectly, the sunflower oil in here, but they're all intermixed. And you can see the Z here is the soybean oil in here. Soybean oil has the closest correlation to the crude oil, but they all move in tandem. You can see the impact so far, the soybean oil and the crude oil has been moving it very steadily, very close. But the FCPO has felt lots more in here. This is also due to the internal structure problem that we see after the market has opened. We have many of our palm oil cannot be harvested because we don't have the labor shortage in here. So that has sort of settled. But eventually right now the market is reopening. We're going to be going into the palm oil labor shortage or overcoming in here. So the stock's going to play catch up. All right. So once they start to play catch up, you can see FCPO is, let me just bring up my laser pointer here. You can see FCPO all the while has been sort of down towards the minus 5% and below in here, whereas the palm oil, the soybean oil as well as the crude oil has been up in the 30 plus. So this is where the CPO prices will play catch up. And that's why of these CPO prices, you notice the last 2 days that we have on the CPO started to move 3% and 4%. When you talk about 4%, that's a lot for 4%. In your 4%, you're talking about almost 100 point or 200 point. Now, 100 point move times 25 ringgit, 1 point CPO prices is 25. We are talking about 2,500 ringgit, big move for one contract in here. And later on, Coach Arif is going to talk about the contract in here just to get you guys familiar with that in here. So a lot of education sharing in here. Now, from our Malaysian Palm Oil Board, and together with our local economists, they're expecting crude oil palm oil to average 4,300. We already exceed that. Actually, the last time we saw it's already 4,400. We just touched 4,400 for 2023. Okay, so 2020. So usually they say 2023 now already touched a very fast one. By the time we get to 2023, what happened? The price actually dropped. And that's why we call this kind of volatility, which is really, really good for the system that we'll be sharing with you. Our Pentagon Guider system in here to tell you whether to go long and go short. And this is one of the things we want to talk about in here. So if you look from our crude oil palm futures, this is where the market been grinding now. You can see for a month of July, right? The market has fell from a high of 6,400. No doubt the soybean oil also fell, the crude oil also fell, but ours one is the one that fall the most lah. All the way until we built a base around 3,600, and many of the local analysts are talking about 3,500 is the base level in here, and that's why we saw this race. So when you apply this right to a situation, you can definitely see CPO prices is ready to rock and roll, right? Because if it's going to play catch up to what I've just shared with you, the palm oil price to the soybean oil prices as well as the crude oil prices, which are already up by 30% from a base, then our CPO can definitely move. Maybe 20% is already good enough. And you're seeing hitting 4,800. That's a lot of money in here. And good time for those of you who are with us right now, I think you will benefit a lot from this information that we'll be sharing with you in here. Now, if you look at the crude oil futures again, attempting to make the breakout, it's really already in the downtrend channel in here. But if you apply on the green pentagon, you can definitely see it much, much better in here. But I just want to draw your attention to the green pentagon. So you can see based on the green pentagon that you see in this chart here, it actually turned green pentagon sometime in the so-called end of October. I can't specify the date, but you can go over the VSA 360 if you have a copy of that one. You could see based on the green pentagon, FCPO actually have a big move somewhere in mid-October from 3,600 ton until 4,200, all right, when the market broke out. Actually, now it's already 4,400 that fast. So that's almost a 600-point gain or a $15,000 ringgit price gain. So that's what we are saying, that this 600 point, we are not interested in the 600 point or the 400 point. We are interested in the intraday movement, right, where we are able to go in quick and get out quick. Right? This is fast in, fast out. That's right. And we can go long or go short. That's one of the great things about this. And that's why we want to train our member, especially the VSA 360 member in here. Just come back and resit for our November futures class in here for small cost price. And you're able to get updated material on how to trade this. And bear in mind, when we say trade the FCPO, we really want you to do more practice trade first, especially the trading. We also have the trading platform for you to do the real life trading in here. And we will share with you all our rules, our VSA rules, our Pentagon rules in our futures course, which we will be announcing it very soon. I think some of you already know. Now, the current recent news also you have seen right now, the Russian-Ukraine has stopped the grain shipment in here because of the drone submarine attack, right? So there are going to be more and more this kind of thing, retaliation. Russian also want to reinforce the embargo on the oil and grain just to squeeze out the rest of the world, especially now winter is coming. Everybody need the food, right? Everybody is surviving it, but this Russian, they are really squeezing it. And that's why you can see this kind of prices, like the palm oil prices, really continue to move higher. So that's the background. I'm trying to give you a picture why this market can go up. You're playing FCPO catch up. So right now, I'm going to invite my my very good friend and so Coach Arif to talk about the palm oil futures. This is where the opportunity is really in. And then after, when he finishes up in here, I'm going to come back and do the rest of my presentation to give you up-to-date view about what's happening and how you can capitalize on this trending market in FCPO. All right, take it away, Coach Arif.
All right, thank you, Martin. Hi, everyone. Hope you are comfortable and just had your dinner. So let me just do my screen sharing here. Just give me a minute. Okay. So you can see the slides, yeah? Right. So today I'll be talking about the futures contract specification. We do a bit of comparison between FCPO, as what Martin mentioned, as well as FKLI. And after that, we will delve in briefly on the fixed rule strategy, which I've just created a couple of weeks back. And we are currently fine-tuning the system, as well as giving it up to the coaches to test it out. And then soon, probably in a week or two time, we will give out to our existing futures members who have attended the futures module for them to do the forward testing using this new strategy. Okay, so first thing first, I'm going to talk about is the difference, okay, very quickly about the difference between the stock trading as well as the derivative trading. Now, derivative is the correct word to use for futures. Basically, you can have commodities, which is FCPO, you have the indexes, which is the we call this the Dow Jones, S&P 500, as well as our FKLI, and also we have finances as well as other kind of futures you can trade in. Malaysia will be not so much, but if you go to under CME, they will have a lot inside of it. You can even trade futures on weather, okay, as well as energy. If you go to China, in Dalian, you can trade futures on eggs, how many trays of eggs you can trade for futures prices. But most of it will be, in the case of CME and Dalian, they will be based on paper trading, okay, means there's no physical exchanges. of what do you call this, the goods, okay, but for Malaysia and also for CME, especially with trade on commodities, there will be an exchange of goods as well. Okay, if you buy, you are accepting receiving of the goods. If you sell, you are selling the goods as well. Okay, whereas for stock market, I believe all of you who are watching this are very well versed in trading the stock market. Okay, now the main different characteristic between these stocks and derivative is that stocks is more for long-term investment. You can buy and hold for long-term. You gain capital gains from there, dividends coming in, and also you can expand your wealth in there. Okay, and basically you own the companies and a bit of a low risk inside here and less volatility, especially if you're a long-term investor. If you are a trader also, I think there should be no issues with it, because if anything happens, you can still get some profit from them. Okay, but whereas for our derivative products here, all right, if you trade, it will be a very short-term trading. Mostly will hold not more than 6 months, perhaps. It will be more shorter than that, and it will be a favorite, especially if the stock market is not doing well. Most of the fund managers will go inside here to do the trading, or what you call this, to hedge against the depreciation of the value, because they do not want to. They want to manage the portfolio, so they want to make it look good, and they don't want to let it devalue at such a big pace inside there. Okay, so next we'll go on to the contract specification. Now you can see in front of you here, okay, on the left is FCPO and the right side is FKLI. I just bring FKLI inside here so that you can see the comparison. One here is underlying instrument is the crude palm oil. Okay, basically if you trade FCPO, means you are deemed to be buying or selling crude palm oil. Okay, whereas for FKLI, there is actually nothing underneath inside it. It's just basically a paper trade. Okay, and you just based on cash settlement. Right now, as Martin mentioned, 25 ringgit up and down per movement is because when you trade FCPO, the basis underlying asset crude palm oil here, you are buying or selling 25 metric tons. Okay, so when you see the chart in the FCPO there, you have like as you saw in Martin's slide there, it's around 4,000 or 3,600, and so on. You can see on the right side there is actually per ton measurement. But when you trade, okay, the profit will be times 25 based on the contract, which is 25 metric tons. All right. Now, as opposed to for FKLI, they set it as and the multiplier will be at around 50 ringgit per tick. Okay, so for every one movement from, let's say, 1490, 1491, so the difference of 1 point will be 50 ringgit here, plus minus. Okay, now for contract month, usually what we will trade here is a forward contract month. We don't really trade a spot month. Spot month meaning is the current month now. Let's see, now it's in month of November. This is considered as a spot month, so trading a spot month. And usually for FCPO, they have an expiry date, which is on the 16th is the starting. Okay, let's say so 16 November is the starting, then on the 15th of December is the last for the spot month. So the spot month will be, if let's say you start from 16th of November, you're trading, the spot month will be in December month. Okay, but usually we do not trade spot month because it's very illiquid. We usually trade either 2 or 3 months ahead contract. Okay, so if you attend the class, you have the video there, you can understand what are the months that we will focus on usually. Okay, for FKLI, usually the spot month, it has more liquidity. Okay, and usually they will expire on by the 25th. Usually people will start moving on to the following month contract. So if you want to trade for FKI, we have to follow where the liquidity is. Okay, yes, when we talk about liquidity, it means it's the volume, because without volume, when you buy, if there's nobody wants to sell to you or buy from you when you sell, then you have a bit of an issue, because come settlement, you have to pay the settlement amount, okay, which is usually the price of the FKI at that time on the last day of the month multiplied by the 50 ringgit inside here. Okay, so same goes with FCPO as well. Now, in terms of trading hours, previously it's only during this morning, we have morning afternoon session here, 10:30 until 12:30 for our FCPO, and then afternoon will be from 2:30 to 6. This is where a bit of a longer time period, okay, in afternoon session. Then somewhere in December, if I'm not mistaken, we just started the after hours or the nighttime trading, okay, where it will start at around 9 p.m. until 11:30 p.m. here. Okay, so basically it's like for those who are not able to trade in the morning because of your working, then nighttime you will have enough time, okay, after having your dinner and shower, 9 o'clock you can have a look and see if there's any trade opportunity. And from our back testing of using this the new methodology for a FCPO strategy is that we find that at nighttime you can there are sometimes there's a good trade for you to trade inside there and get a good profit from there on. Okay, for trading hours in FKLI is usually very near to the what you call this your stock market trading hours, but after hours also the same 9 to 11:30 inside here. Okay, so this is more or less, if you notice, the timing is they try to follow a Hang Seng index, but Hang Seng index is more of like a longer time frame compared to us in Malaysia here. Okay, now currency pricing unit is in ringgit Malaysia. Minimum price fluctuation you can see is 1 ringgit metric tons per metric tons for FCPO. Okay, whereas for FKRI is around 25 ringgit per 0.5 index point. Okay, if you are familiar with it, you will know that 1.50, half of it is 25. And final delivery settlement is, of course, is physical delivery. Now, again, we do not want to buy and hold for a couple of months. Okay, that we leave it to the suppliers, the plantations, and also the manufacturers. They will do the buying and selling to receive the goods or to let go of the goods that they have. Okay, our interest here as a trader, or they call it a speculator, is to make profit from the price fluctuation in the market. Okay, now, like it or not, for your futures market is 95% are speculators, okay, and the rest of it are genuine buyers. So that's what makes the market quite interesting inside there. Okay, now these are some of the fixed rule strategy that we have. Okay, I will share you a few of the slides, but the rules we will share during our masterclass for FCPO module in December. I believe it's on the 3rd of December. Later I will tell you what you have inside there. Okay, now if you notice inside here, we base our rules or entry is on the Pentagon guide. Okay, this is the green pentagon. You can see here we have a green pentagon and we have the red pentagon at the top here. Okay, now Martin mentioned that we can go long and short in futures market. Okay, now stock market you can go long and short. Okay, but there's a bit of processes that you need to fulfill or to comply with locals regulation. But for our FCPO, you can just immediately almost buy or sell, okay, and gain profit when you close the contract. Now, just briefly to explain is that buying, everybody knows, is that when you buy at a low price here, and when the price goes up, you sell at a high, this is where you make the profit inside there. Okay, so we can see based on green pentagon here, it usually means it's a thing to buy, basically. So we have here the green pentagon, and this is the A here, which is the green pentagon, the trigger point here. We have the line change. Okay, you can see the volume quite nice inside here, and usually once the trigger point has already is strong or is already clear, then the next bar is where we will proceed to make our entry here. Okay, so just this agak-agak is around EP 4150. Okay, based on the closing price of this bar here, the red color bar. And if you buy and hold, okay, usually based on our observation, around 1 hour to 1 hour and a half, this is where you can get a good profit. Now we target around, usually the rule is around 1 to 1 here. Okay, now if you go for stock market, if you follow my colleague Zach, our senior coach, he will suggest on 1 or over 2. Okay, means you risk 1, but you target profit 2. So if you risk 8% in the stock market, you target 16% profit inside there. Okay, but for futures, it's very different, because futures is where we in and out quite fast, and we are doing on an intraday basis. Not like stocks, you can buy and hold for a few days and you can sell if the thing doesn't follow through or whatsoever. Okay, but for futures market, we based on at least 1-to-1 ratio. Means you risk, let's say 30 points, we target 30 points inside there. Okay, but however, if the price doesn't go towards that direction of the profit that we want, then we will exit. Okay, so that could mean that maybe there's no momentum for it to go up, or there's a strong sign of weakness inside here. Okay, which you can see this little here, text here, UT is upthrust. You can see SP or T here is a strength, a spring and test. So usually anything at the top here, it indicates a sign of weakness, and anything at the bottom here, it indicates a sign of strength. Okay, now for here we can see that there's a green pentagon. If those who attended the Pentagon guided portfolio management, we always talk about the suitable kind of chart setup. Okay, so similarly in this fixed rule strategy also, we are looking into a suitable chart setup inside here. Okay, now again, these are just indicators. Okay, it doesn't mean that it's 100% sure. Green pentagon means you enter, you make profit. Okay, red pentagon, you go short, means you make profit. Okay, we always look at the chart setup, and based on what we see from the setup, we enter the trade. Okay, and once the chart unfolds after that, if we achieve the target, our target, then okay, it's good for us. But if it doesn't, then that's where your stop loss is very important. You need to cut loss quite fast here. Okay, now for this strategy, we are having a quite wide stop loss. Okay, but our target profit also is quite big enough as well. So we are targeting 30 points. Okay, we just bring out the pen here. Okay, so let's say from this EP here, okay, all the way down, we are targeting 30 points stop loss. But from here to the top here, we also target around 30 points of profit. Now again, this is based on fixed rule strategy. If along the way you want to exit, I don't 30 points, I maybe want to get out if let's say price doesn't move towards that direction that I want, then I want to get out and small losses is okay, there's no problem. But based on our observation for if you're using fixed rule, right, 30 points is just a nice sweet spot that you may not get hit inside there. Okay, probability of you getting hit if your stop loss is small is quite high. But if you have a wider stop loss, the chances are maybe around 1/2 that you get hit by the market. But the rest of it, the market may just turn up inside there. Okay, now this fixed rule strategy, we base on a 5-minute chart. Okay, and we base on the observation that usually once you enter based on the green pentagon, which has the nice setup, then you will be able to write. Usually you give yourself around 1 hour to 1 hour and a half, then for it to be able to achieve the profit will be there. Okay, now again, there are some cases like this is A, you can see on the B side here, this is where we have another green pentagon. Okay, and then we can, based on the EP here at around 4157, it did able to go up high here. Now, but you notice here, this is around 4 hours 5 minutes. Why 4 hours 5 minutes? You can see at the bottom here, we have 9 p.m. Okay, market closed at 6 before it. Okay, now observation wise, there is a possibility for you, if you want, to carry over your trade to another session. Okay, but however, there is some risk inside it, because in between sessions, sometimes if Martin has mentioned about the soybean oil, because soybean oil price is still actively moving. So by that time, if you were to hold it overnight or to another session, let's say from this afternoon to nighttime session, there is a possibility that the market may already go down for soybean oil. So when market opens at night time for FCPO, you may have a gap down inside there. Okay, you can see here at around 12:30. Okay, you can see there is a gap down here inside here. Okay, so can you imagine your stop loss initially is 30 points, but this one can go maybe around 100 points. So the losses will be very wide inside there. Okay, so that's why for trading FCPO, we have the strategy to be shared with our members, with our students who attend the FCPO module, and these are the things where we want you all to follow, so at least to keep you safeguarded first. Okay, after a while, if you're expert already, then you can try out to hold for another session. That is no problem with it. Okay, but just more of it to gain confidence, your confidence in trading this FCPO product. Okay, because it's very volatile. Although it's 5 minutes, okay, it's a bit relaxing a bit, but still, if market is volatile, then we may get hit by the market. Okay, right. So we have to be very observant in how the market reacts to it. Okay. Now, very quickly for the next one, you can see here. Okay, sorry. This one here, this one, all right, on the 18th of October, we have a green pentagon, and you can see here we have a 1-line change here, and very nice. You can say it's a climatic volume, okay, but I would say that it's more of a after a nice period of sideways movement with low volume, okay, And you can see that the price is just very small. There's no very wide kind of a wide split kind of a price movement. And even if you do have it, okay, you can see like it's on the up bar and the volume is there. When it's on a down bar, the volume is low. So it usually indicates that there is not much of a seller there. Possibility of it to go up is there as well. Okay, now again, if you are not content with 30 points of profit, but you want to go higher, you just ride with the profit. Okay, so there's a possibility like here around 45 minutes. Okay, let's say from here where the price go up, after that it has a peak and it close on the low side of the bar here. So from here to up is around 109 points, but you're holding for 45 minutes. Okay, if you want to hold a bit longer until you see there is a bit of a strong weakness, or you want to try to hold near towards the end of the session, as in this case here. Okay, this one is already another session. Okay, so for morning session all the way up, so you hold around nearly for 2 hours and you can get around 154 points. Okay, now I'm not trying to tell that by doing this you can get this 100 points. Okay, this is like a case-to-case basis. Not all days you can get 100 points. Some days maybe you can get just around 20 points or 30 points. Okay, but so far what we observe is that if the momentum is there for FCPO, you can make a trade inside there. Okay, and usually we observe is that as long as, if let's say the blue zone here, okay, if you're aware of the Pentagon guider, the blue zone, if it is the longer the blue zone, the more momentum you can see the price is moving up, and that's why you can opt to ride with the profit. Okay, but for starters, for beginners, we strongly suggest for you to follow the rules that we will be sharing out. Okay, right. So another one that we have here, okay, this is those who attended the previous FCPO module. You can notice that this is something like the phase 2 of a bottom fishing. Okay, is around phase 2 of bottom fishing. But if I bring your attention to the green pentagon here, okay, and you can see we have one line change there, right? And from 3513 go all the way up to here is around 65 points. Okay, now holding period is 1 hour and 15 minutes. Now the question is, are you going to be content with 30 points just for 30 points, or you want to be a bit greedy, you want to get more than 30 points, means you want to aim for 65 points. Okay, now what we would normally suggest to our members is that try to get that consistency first inside. Okay, maybe you are afraid of 30 points, you want to go for 10 points. It's okay, follow business strategy, get on 10 points, 10 points, 10 points, and so on. And after that, you up your ante a bit. Okay, you up your game a bit, you go for 20 points and so on. Now the reason is because as you have more consistency of winning, your heart will be like, oh, I'm quite happy that I can make some profits in there. Okay, or you may suffer some losses. That is part and parcel of trading. Okay, if you treat trading like a business, you should know that in business it's not always rosy, you make profit all the time. It's sometimes that you would suffer a bit of a losses. Okay, but overall you see that as long as you are able to hit that profit, then it should be okay for you already. Okay, and after a while, if you want to have some want to just play a bit lah, okay, then you can buy 2 contracts. One contracts to get at 30 points, and the other contract you see how far the price can go up. Okay, so that is how the gameplay for FCPO. Okay, now imagine if you are able to make profit on one contract, okay, and you multiply that by 5 contracts, for example. So they say one day you can make around 500 ringgit for one contract, but you times by, and after a while you're very good at it, you add 2 contracts, you can make 1,000 ringgit. And when you go at 2 contracts, you go for 3 contracts, you can make around 1,500 ringgit inside there. Okay, but of course the risk also will be multiplied by 3 lah. All right, but again, if you're able to do that, imagine the potential that you can tap on trading FCPO. Okay, now again, not all the time FCPO will be able to give you that profit. There are certain times where if the market is downtrend, then the rules cannot be applied, because the rules, like what I created, I'm more biased towards long, buy low and sell high. My other coach, which is Marina, she's a short expert, so she likes to sell on the high and buy back on the low and get the profit from there. Okay, so we have 2 coaches that can share our experience and guide on how you want to go for long or how you want to go for short. Okay, so if let's say you want to base on trading FCPO to make as a livelihood, I believe there is a potential inside there. Okay, but like how most of us, even to quote from my fellow coaches, Coach Fu, is that if you have a full-time job, don't let go of it just because you want to go for, you can make a living from full-time trading. Make this as your passive income, build up your portfolio from there, and you can use it to fund or channel your funds to create other forms of wealth inside there, okay, while maintaining your job inside there. Okay, so we have our classes to explain further in detail on this new strategy this coming 3rd of December, okay, at 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. All right, so our first half of the session will be myself explaining the rules, and then the other session will be by my fellow coach Marina, and we will talk about the futures market and how it works. This one here, we have it in video recorded in our VAC 360, so you can just watch it and view it, okay. The master class, which is the 3rd of December here, this is where we focus 100% on strategy. Okay, we will not go or what's the basic or fundamental of futures startup. We just go straight away into the strategies. We explain to you based on our charts inside there. Okay, and based on our observation, I'm collecting the data for past 1 year. Okay, and we will be sharing out the rules once we fine-tune it and finalize it with our current or existing the first batch of futures module students. Then we will share. We want them to share what's the result that they get from there. Okay, and yeah. So hope that for those of you who are interested to join our class, okay, just make time on the 3rd of December, and from there we have a 3 months coaching inside there or via Telegram chat group. Of course, we as coaches, we can teach to a certain extent, but you yourself, you need to put in the effort to make the paper trade, to ask questions inside there. Then we have more interaction inside there. Otherwise, just one-sided explain, right, sometimes can be a bit boring. If a two-way interaction will be much better. Okay. So with that, thank you, and I'll pass the session to Martin.
All right, thank you. Let's give applause to Coach Arif, and by showing us a thumb there. So we're going to get on to my presentation in here. Thank you for Coach Arif for his valuable sharing in here. And of course, for those of you, we have some more details going forward. So I hope you can see my slide right now. So we're going to get down to the area that I'll be talking about, which is really my favorite, is the trading, the long and short in here. All right, let's go on in here. Any questions, just pencil those in the comment section in here. I'll be happy as I'm looking at that right now in here. So let's get on to some other parts of, I want to continue, is the, yes, what happened in here. Now, previously, those of you we're talking about, hey, in our KLCI market, we can only go long, right? We can only go long. So if the market were to go the other way around, we are not able to do that. And also the technology stock, some have rebounded. Some of the glove stock has rebounded. Maybe this is also an opportunity for you to sell some of those glove stock that has not done very well, okay? And now what you want to do is able to put in a new strategy that you can go long or short. If the market were to go down, right, can you make money on stocks? Practically you can't, but at least on the CPO futures, which Coach Harvey just shared with you, you can actually have an opportunity to make some money on the short side. Not everything will always go long in here. So that's the downside. So this is where you want to look at the opportunity. Now, like it or not, this is some of the so-called bear idea. Should we have a bear idea? But more importantly, the market need to have that kind of strength to push upwards and then really to fall up and go down. And that's why the palm crude oil is really looking very good and plenty of opportunity on buying of selling too. So keep that in mind in here. Now, of course, using our VSA 360, enabled to find those, especially those of you who want to look at the plantation sector, we're going to share with you in here. But a few things I also want to share is the FCPO CPO discretion system, that mine system, and also Coach Arif system is pretty much the same in here. It's just that later on I'm going to share with you on my style of trading will be sort of a spin-off from Coach Arif in here. Of course, we also have a chance to share. Very important is that the Pentagon guider will determine the direction. Either you go long or go short. Green to go long, and if it's red Pentagon, you go short. And that's always been it. We use a 5-minute chart and then we pair together either with a shorter time frame and longer time frame, which we will teach in the December. That's right, it's not the November, but the December class in here. So let me just make an amendment here. So remember class email, and the trading period generally is very, very short. No, we're not going to be holding night just between 1.5 hours, 2 hours. And some of the example I'll share with you in here will give me fun. We also use a long-term support and resistance to pair together to give us whether this trade is really a good trade or not. We also share with you our advanced pattern setup that we'll be sharing with you on the December course, and target profit and stop loss, all pretty much predefined. And Coach Arif did talk about it just now in here. Now, here's one example, I think pretty much that we were testing in here. You can see the entry were at the what was it? Entry at 3920, just after the green pentagon. Stop loss, we just put it below in here, and we just wanted to sort of let the profit run. You can run it for like 30 points, or you can run it until the end of a session. In this example, especially what I talk about in here, if you're going to have a nice trending up market here, right with the trend, all right, right with the trend. So this case, you can get within this 2-hour session in here, a 95-point gain, all right, a 95-point gain. That itself is 2,375. Now remember, what is the contract now, Coach Arif? The contract margin now?
Okay, in futures, they have what we call a margin requirement, initial margin. That one is similar, like you buy a house, you put 10% deposit.
Correct.
So for FCPO, if you are doing intra, okay, they usually put in the figure as overnight holding, so it's around 10,000 ringgit. But for intraday, will be half of that amount, which is 5,000. Now, bear in mind, not all your brokers, futures brokers will give you that half amount. Now then you need to request for approval for that.
All right, there you go. So we are talking somewhere between $5,000 to $7,000 for that capital size. So if you look at this, 2,300 ringgit, let's say round it up 2,004. 2,004 or 5,000, that's almost a 40% gain within 2 hours. That's why we always said before, it makes CPO trading so attractive. All you got to do is just have the system, like the back testing system, to build that confidence, and also the coaches for you to lead in. I'm going to show you a couple of ways how we want to train our student in this oncoming December class in here. Here's another trade in here. You could see long at the 4107. The green pentagon will tell you that this is the area to go. You put your stop loss right below the entry there, and you can see we exited just before the session and in the evening session. All right. I think Coach Arif later on, I think there is an evening session which starts at 9 o'clock. Then we have the morning, so which is very, very flexible. And I think Bursa Malaysia has done a pretty good job to make it very, very flexible for especially those of you who want to do evening job, right? Like what Coach Arif say, don't quit your day job. 9 o'clock, you can start work up to what, 11:45, right? 11:55, that's right. So that's the couple of hours you can trade. So evening session, you can make 43 points in this example in here. Especially right now, as I said before, we have this trending market. You have the Russian-Ukraine war, everything looking nicely. 43 points, that's a 1,000 ringgit within 1.5 months. And your stop loss, we pencil in around 4,090. Another trade here, this is also another evening session. I didn't have it in here. So you can short it at 4203. Remember, once you see this red pentagon, you can really short it in here, and then just have a profit. When the market slam down, there's one characteristic, right? When you slam down, you want to quickly take profit in here. So that will be a 43 points. Again, those rules, we will talk about it. 25 ringgit, that's another 1,000 ringgit profit from maybe a $6,000 a margin in here. So a very nice profit in here. Same trade. Again, that one was in the afternoon session. This is the evening session, start at 9 o'clock. You can see 9 o'clock, the green pentagon here dictated the green direction, but eventually we have to cut. Why? Because the market did not go up. So that's why we always say before, the green pentagon would determine the direction, but we always put a stop loss. In this case, the stop loss was a 14-point stop loss, as well 315 ringgit loss within 10 minutes, because when it goes up, it didn't just stop you out. And that's one of the great things we did. Usually winning trade will take about 1 minute less. That's why they say, let the profit run, cut your losses fast. And that's why we lost it in 10 minutes for a 14-point stop loss before the market actually break down. So when the market break down at 10 o'clock, there's another trade here. You go short. All right, you go short. You want to go short, sell higher and buy back lower. And just before the market end, that was another 14 points in here. Before the market end at 11:55, you want to be exiting. So you get another 14 points. So you lost your early one, then you cover back. And that's what the whole point is. following the green pentagon. It detects you, so you don't simply follow your emotion, and this is what we're going to be really talking about. But you need this Pentagon guider on the 5-minute chart that will definitely enable you to do a lot of this kind of trade. And this was 14 points within 1.5 hours. Right, there was another one, I think today, where we have a widespread bar in here. So widespread bar, usually we don't put a stop loss right below. We put it somewhere in 3/4 in here. This was a nice one, just started at the morning 10 o'clock session in here for 78 points. We exit just before the market closes. Within 1.5 hours, we put a stop loss at 4320, right? And getting a 78 points, 25 ringgit. That's almost 1,950 ringgit in here. I mean, you need to check it out on the FCPO chart, especially those of you who have our VSA 360, our members in here. This is the one that you want to be trading. So right now we are doing a lot of back testing and also having this alert, the 5-minute alert comes to you. But usually you just want to see that 5-minute alert when you get ready and you want to do that trade right in here. So this is one of the FCPO discussion trading room. We are really back tested and we will be available in this December. Remember this December 22 future course. We really highly encourage all our members to use the paper trading module in the FCPO in here. Now FCPO, they have that future trading ground, just like a shooting range, you know, or what we call in golf, there's a driving range. So before you go out to the golf course and really play out there, you want to, you know, perfect your shot. And the same thing when you shoot your gun, you really want to perfect it. And same thing again, we don't want to go out and waste real money in here. So you trade it with paper trading, and definitely in the December course, we have it all together. Then finally you do with real money, and then you're guided by our VSA coaches, like what Coach Harry said. You got to do the trading, then we're able to review your performance. Then we have some data where we can see what you're doing well and what you're doing. And that's all the whole purpose of our December future class in here. Now, let's talk about the plantation sector, right? Now, those of you who do want to trade there's also opportunity in the plantation sector here. Using our VSA 360, I'm going to just share with you in demo shortly in here. You can see how we are able to find those stocks, right? And one of the VSA 360, again, part of our package in here, the masterclass, the FCPO futures, together with our VSA, so you're able to have this quick chart preview function. I'm going to share with you how you're going to use this. So all you got to do is, let me just get on to a chart here, open up the VSA 360 here, a new chart here, and just going to show you how we can get that. So trade VSA. So I hope you're learning something tonight, right? And you can log in here. All right. So once you get in, you go to your screener, and this is the 100-day trade VSA orientation that we're also doing right now. So once you join our program, you have the 100-day onboarding experience where you will learn to trade together with the coaches in here. So you have the screener, then we have go on to the sector gain, right? And our sector gain here is where we look for the plantation stocks. Okay, the plantation stock that we see. Let me just bring up the stocks coming up right now. All right, so you can see from here. So let's open it up. Okay, click on the right-hand corner. So if you have the VSA 360, you can also do that too. But let me just share with you how you want to do that. So once you're in here, you can click on to the plantation stocks. All right, just follow together with me. All right, you can see that. Click on the plantation. So, and that's why we highly recommend you our package in here that you can follow. So once you get in here, next thing you want to do is to sort out by the turnover. You want to ensure that you have high turnover. And then once you do your mouse on, you're able to see some of these stocks, whether they are right setup. You can see here, this have a 3-bar down, right? So you want to see those turning green pentagon recently. This one still hasn't turned yet. Some has, yeah, you see, some plantation actually turned much earlier here. That's on the 18th of October, all right? Jaya Tiasa, all right, showing thing in here. So all already turned. TH plantation, if you have gone in earlier on the 5th of October, you can see from my chart here, you're possibly be in again, similar to the FCPO chart, entering after the green pentagon. That's going to be somewhere around the 95 cents. You're already in the money. So you can see how we're doing. And Ta'an also all started to run already lah. All right, earlier already run. So you want to go down to number 3 or number 4 where hasn't turned green pentagon yet. All right, so these are the chart in here. But I'm going to give you two. This one already turned. Duta Land already turned. I'm going to give you 2 stocks. One stock that has just turned only today. Just turned only today. And so this is how we look for those stocks. Which one hasn't done? Katam seems to be very good in here. And you can see some of the stock all started to move up in here. This one, Batu Kawan, not yet, still down. UMC, not good, all right. MHI, yep, turned green. Pentagon also. You can see some of these already turned. SA Chan still not yet turning. Pine, well, all also already turned already. You can see, yes, everything turned already. Only one started to turn yet. Let me just share with you which one. So the one that has not turned yet, let's go on to that chart in here, is Kim Long. KM Long just turned today only. All right, so KM Long is a stock that just turned. It pays a dividend and break out very nicely in here. But do take note, this is the first time it actually crosses the red line. So there's a danger zone there. So likely profit taking is going to come in place. But usually that's about maybe within the 5 or 6 bars onwards in here. So Kim Long is definitely one way. If you don't want to trade the futures, then you want to look at the plantation stocks in here. Next one, I do like one is TSH. This stock has already run, as I said before, from 94 cents early on, but it's going to likely to take out the UT. As I said before, the opportunity of the market swinging up, you know, that Russian-Ukraine conflict, when the market swing up, a lot of these plantation stocks is going to swing up, just like what Coach Arif has said, and also our senior trader said. So all you got to do is open up your eye, and if your money is stuck on the rubber glove, maybe you want to get some of it in here and move it over right in here to capitalize it, especially on the crude oil. That's the one we were talking about. This stock's definitely going to be making up here. Another one is Eno, right? Taking up the upthrust in here from our VSA 360 is another example how you can trade by using the support, resistance, and profit target at 162. So all those are part of our VSA 360 to enable to help you in here. And that's what we really want to do. In the last 1 hour, our sharing of this is want to bring the best out of you. Like what we did in the June, July, during the VSA 360, we have our 20-day trading challenge. So right now, our coming December and November intake for our masterclass, as you can see, some of our winner in here able to profit in here. So if you are interested to become a good trader, a profitable trader, consistent trader, together trained by our coach and having a great platform, a great system in here, this is something for you want to do. And on top of that, Trade VSA onboarding 100-day orientation to get you into the trading mode in here. Now remember, the year end is going to be very, very volatile, and that's why we want everyone to sort of move into the trading mode rather to the not so much on longer term investing. And what better way to participate in our November intake in here. So we have our foundation class 1. You can talk to Zach for more information. We will start on the 11th of November. Then the 12th, we have our foundation class 2. Then we have 26th November. And the one that we are talking about was the 3rd of December, the trading palm oil futures. That's the one. Because right now we are constantly, we've been testing it for the last 2 months and we find it very work. Some of the examples I've shared with you, like the 20 points, 40 points, small stop loss, wider profit gain in here. And that's what something. And also not to forget, on the 4th of December, we have the US market and portfolio. That's for the master class. So depending what you learn, if you just take the basic package in here, the foundation, you get to attend foundation class 1 and class 2. But if you're interested in the master class, that's the one we show you all the big Sifu secret move lah. Our favorite move is the one in here. So whole point is that we don't want you to trade with real money first. We want you to do all the essential, have some success, just like what we are doing now, back testing on the paper in here. And when you get it right, the market will always be there. Because, but the problem, the money. Remember this CPO swing. If you swing up, you also swing down. Swing down also we can short. We can also make money. That's more important. More important is that we coaches are here to support you. All right. And that's why we have that onboarding 100 days in there. And having somebody watch you, that's really the power of what we are suggesting in here, right? If you haven't been successful in the past, is maybe you do not have the tools, the skill, the knowledge, and also the community to support you. And that's why we want to do this, especially right now with the year-end rally in mind. what better way to do that together in our community in here. So as a summary in here, capitalize on the market of FCPO together, myself and Coach Arif and our senior trainer. We believe our VSA trader have a positive expectation system here. We really know when to enter, when to exit, and also the right time exit. Now, just like what we share with you, the green pentagon in here will definitely tell you the direction. Don't have to scratch your head. Hey, long or short, you know what I mean? Right? The pentagon allow two direction. All right, long and also short in the FCPO market. But if you just want to trade on the share, use the VSA 360 and you go over to the plantation and look for those stocks that is ready to move up. At least I've given you one. All right, Kim Long, KM Long, all right, started to turn green pentagon today. They started to move up. So that way you unload some of your dead wood stock, those who didn't do so well, all right, and focus this shorter term, right, and cover back some of the money that you have lost. All right, remember, you can make even 40-50% per trade. Right, but also think about two-way direction in here. Not a lot of time in here, and follow the smart money. Get that alert from the VSA 360 and also our trading plugin that shows you the trade come to you. So be alert in that sense because you're using all the technology that we have in here. So for all that, my last three messages has been very consistent. We have the inflation, the Russian-Ukraine war is not going to go away so soon yet. Interest rate is going to rise up, and the US FOMC, they're talking about it tonight in here, the 75 basis points happening in here. And once that thing is over, and then you have the US midterm election, we're likely to see the market rally. The uncertainty of the recession are getting less and less now because the US just came out with their third GDP quarter, seems to be in a positive 2.6%. So that eliminated out. They are much stronger right now to bear through the recession. And I think very similar also to our market. But more importantly is to get that idea that you can make money long, you can make money short, and having this opportunity anytime when you do. And one thing great about it is Bursa Malaysia now do the evening session, which actually start at 9 o'clock. So you can actually learn how to trade the SVO future at night. What better time to spend 2 hours every evening? And when Coach Arif, we arrange some evening session, live trading session, which we will do somewhere after the masterclass. We definitely should do that together with our members in here. So definitely we never leave any of our members alone. More importantly, reach out to us. We are being more than happy to train you up in here with our real life investing coach like myself, long term. Then we have futures trading that will give you the investment plan guide ahead. All right. So signing off here is Martin. We created the Pentagon green to O up, red to go down, very similar in here. And we have great reviews from all of you in here. Or you can try out our 10-day free trial. All right. Scan the QR code in here, but you'll be surprised the kind of powerful system that we have in a thing here. Or if you're ready, just sign up for our system, the 4888 special price in here. And don't forget, spread the good word around and join our Telegram in here. Coach Arif, anything you want to add on before we end our session in here for all our fellow members and also the public?
One nice green pentagon just now as we speak, and it's quite a nice upward movement. I think there is already around 70%, 70 points.
Yeah, 70 points. Yeah, that's right.
Points,
yeah,
50 points. So I mean, for those who have trading,
yeah, Coach Arif, why don't you share it? I'll stop sharing with you. You share that on the real life. As we talk about in here, 70 points is there, right? Yeah.
Around 50 points because you can see the green pentagon here. Okay, and based on the entry, let's say go for next bar, it's let's say 4355. How many points? From here to the peak that we have here is around 60 points, 40 minutes. For 60 points for 40 minutes. So if let's say you follow based on the rule, which is
60 points and 25, how much is that? Can you all calculate now? 60 points and 25.
So if you follow our rules on 15 minutes itself, which is you get 30 points to who's going to give you 750 ringgit 30 points for 15 minutes?
So as we talk about in here, the system is showing yourself that you can really make money already.
Yeah.
Okay. So join us for masterclass. Of course, if you are our existing member, that's not a problem. You just can sign it up in the game and come back on December. But for those of you who are new, has been sidelined for a while, been following us for many, many times, and we do know many of you are, it's just that when is the right time? Okay, so with that, I close our session in here. Let's make money together. Of course, we hope to bring it up more in our Trade VSA Telegram chat room in here. More importantly, we want a student to bring up the topic in here. Hey, that's something I want to trade. At least we will show you how to make money as we talk a bit right now. Even we have a 60-point move. 60-point move, right, Coach Arif?
Yeah, 60-point move outwards.
Yeah, you can see
Right.
on the screen itself, which is a 60-point move, and that's something very great. And we are talking live trading in here, but more important, we say before, test it out on the paper trading first before you do it. 60-point is about $1,000. As we talk about it, this whole session you could make possibility of 1K, all right, every night. So who says that second income is not possible? It's definitely possible. It's just that whether you want to do it or not. All right, with that, thank you very much. And for our members, I'll see you in our regular follow-up session in here. Thank you, Coach Arif. And thank you to you all.
Goodbye.
I hope you all learned something tonight. And definitely some of the things we will share with you in here will bind up to be that Bible of trading in this short term, whether long or short. Good night, everyone. Thank you for coming. Bye-bye.
Bye.